the city's argument is basically pass this tax, which over a 10-year period would be $280 million, according to the city's estimates. It's the last available tax increase that our city has. So this is a monumental decision for the city, because if it turns out wrong, the city doesn't have the ability to raise the sales tax again. Their basic argument is, if you pass this tax, you'll get 120 new cops and you'll get out of bankruptcy. And I think both are false statements. And the starting point of that would be that the city's own budget projections for the next 10 years, and this is what they present to their creditors and what goes into their bankruptcy plan, their 10-year forecast, assumes that this tax passes, and it also assumes that they get the cuts that they've asked of the creditors in bankruptcy. So all that's built in, and still, 4 years out, the city goes back into insolvency. The money that Measure A envisions for being spent on police officers will not be available for police officers, because it will have to be used to pay that deficit in the year 2017. And by the way, the deficit in the year 2017 starts there, but it compounds after that. So it doesn't bend the curve. And so both of the stated reasons for passing Measure A are untrue, clearly untrue based upon the city's own documents. It does not give us more police officers, and it will not solve bankruptcy. And the main reason it won't do either, and the main reason it's a really bad idea to do, is because the city refuses to deal with pension reform. Unlike San Bernardino, unlike Detroit, both of whom have put the PERS system into bankruptcy, and in San Bernardino's case, successfully after the trial, they were successful. The city of Stockton has refused to list PERS as a beneficiary, which to me, not a beneficiary, a creditor, to me is astonishing, since PERS represents the largest debt the city has. The bottom line is, the people of Stockton have been down this path before. We've been lied to. And my mother always told me, don't use the word lie, because it's a fighting word, and it's kind of a nasty thing to say about somebody. But it's true. They promised. They promised with the utility tax. They promised with Measure W. They promised you. They promised the people of Stockton, and it was a big lie. It didn't work out. We have fewer cops today than we had when both of those passed. And so here we are on the fool me three times moment. When the voters vote, are they voting for cops and bankruptcy debt, or are they voting for cops, bankruptcy debt, and whatever the city council dreams up in the future, without a restricted tax where you have things legally binding? There's going to be council members running for other offices next year, the city manager's leaving before Election Day. Those people aren't in a position to honor any commitments. They won't be there. And who knows who will get elected in the past, in the future. I can tell you I haven't liked who we've elected in the past.
We want to talk about a little bit about the promises that are being made. For instance, the 10-year sunset will not return to voters. So it's taking a citywide vote to adopt the sales tax, but it's only going to take 4 members of a city council, yet unknown, those people not yet elected, basically, to extend that forever. For me, the tax is way out front. Some of these things need to be resolved and talked about, discussed. Some of the audit reports need to be seasoned. It needs to happen way before the city is there with their hand out asking for more money. In a statement by the SJTA, we come out with, we're saying, without a doubt, this council and former council members made some difficult decisions. These changes were a long time in coming, and we do appreciate the hard work. We give them that. But the most difficult decisions are not made when you're broke and have no options. The most difficult decisions are made when you have money, but you still have the political will to say no to excessive spending.
The real test of what we will face long-term in Stockton is after we're out of bankruptcy, when the economy improves, when tax revenue starts to come up to somewhat normal levels, then what will happen? And I think the history of Stockton tells you that there's two groups that are disproportionately influential in city council races: land developers and public employee unions, okay? And I don't see anything that anybody has done, proposed, or suggested that's gonna change that basic political dynamic in our city. And of course, the developers don't care so much about what goes on at City Hall other than their project approvals. The public employee unions care only about one thing, right? And that's their job for their members, which is to raise pay, raise benefits, and get more pensions, right? So I don't see anything changing in that dynamic. The worst case scenario here is a tax passes. It's spent on all these pension obligations. The city goes back into insolvency. And then we probably would have to go back into bankruptcy and cut more.